Yeah. Ready? Yeah. We lost you. We lost you. We don't lose you. We don't lose you. Ready?
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Busy, busy, but I'm good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're busy with business.
Yes. A
Oh,
lot of
good.
tours. Now, this is the period, the busy period for the cruise ships. So I'm really every day busy from
Good.
8, sometimes from 8 to 6. Really, really busy the whole day.
Good. Good. I'm
Yeah.
so glad you're busy. And hopefully, maybe you'll get more busy with overnight stays after
Who
this
knows?
episode airs. So let me tell you, while I was doing all my editing, I came across it was time to start doing your shows. And I thought, oh my God, these would be so great to show during Black History Month. And so
That's
I held off for a little bit. And so now I'm re-editing all the stuff and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is gonna be so great. This is gonna be so great. It's gonna be three parts uh,
okay.
of the whole episodes of all of it coming together.
Hmm.
And then at the end of it, it's going to be me and you talking on the third
Okay.
episode. But
All right.
you're a little bit in all of them. I'm gonna tell you, you
Okay.
you're in them
Okay.
a little bit in all of them. But when we get
Okay.
to the last episode, that's when we sat down and had our interview.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Good.
So before we continue with that, what I want to ask you, because I was listening to the interview and I'm not sure if you were just speaking more than what you wanted to air on the show, but in the interview you were talking about a lot of the racist tension with the Venezuelans, the Jamaicans, the colorism between the two. Do you want me to air all of that, or you want me to cut some of it out?
Nope.
Air it
Air it
all.
all.
Air it
Air it all.
all. All
Okay.
right. That's going to be a good episode.
Yeah, because I mean, that is part of what we are here now. So, and it all has to do with the history that the people still think that they still think that we are part of each other here in the Caribbean area. And sometimes they and we have that too, that when we go to some place in the Caribbean area or in the US, we have the tendency to think that the black people there are exactly as we are, you know, and then we just act like we are at home, but we forget that there are some things during one history, but progressing through after abolition of slavery, that there are things that um, are different because the evolution of things were different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and also the countries that were colonized colonized the Caribbean area were different than the Dutch. So there are a lot of things that either way we don't keep in mind. Yeah, and we think, oh, they are black, they are African descendants, so they are just like we are in a
Mm-hmm.
way, but there are still things that makes them completely different. Their way of thinking is completely different
Mm-hmm.
than our way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's actually bound to collide when you meet, and with such a expectation that you get then some problem between the different races that lives here in Curacao.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's other than that, let's see what has been going on in Curacao when it comes to the things that we talked about. And I would also like to know, is this Venezuelan thing with the United States having an effect on Curacao? Because I know for me as a tourist, I was going to come to Curacao, but then when all that started breaking out in the Caribbean Sea, I actually changed my ticket. Now I'm going somewhere else
Hmm.
because I just didn't want to chance it. And I know at one point everybody was stuck there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not great at all. So give us some updates. What's going on there in Curacao when it comes to this?
Okay. First of all, it was we saw it coming. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that somehow the U.S. is going to do something extreme. Either what they have been doing is picking all the oil tanks and all that, but we expected that it's going to be something different, something more bombastic. Let's put it that way. So the one thing that we didn't expect was that it was going to happen that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So going to sleep, wake up in the morning, and hear that they entered Venezuela, killed about 280 people, and take the president of Venezuela and his wife with them was like, okay. And I was asleep. So, yeah. And it is a bit uh, how you say scary because we have here in Curacao stations of the American military.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so um, they they might have been using our islands to make it easier to fly over. And the problem is that here in Curacao, for some reason, actually I know the reason, but the Dutch doesn't inform the government enough of what they are plotting with the US.
Mm.
So we have a prime minister in Curacao that doesn't know squat.
Wow.
So things happen, and when he is questioned about it, he really cannot answer because he really don't know anything about
Oh wow. So
it.
it sounds like they're just using him for the face of Curacao.
Yeah, but that is the thing. Look, there were politicians here in Curacao that really fought against the Netherlands. But then you got suddenly a group that favored the the Dutch in all every way that they can, just to look good, to they think then just that it is exactly the same think pattern of the slave period. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with a slave owner, I might get my freedom. If I'm good
Mm-hmm.
with the Netherlands, I might maybe not get the freedom, might get money that can
Mm-hmm.
be good for me and my family. So that thinking is still or is now in the government we are having right now.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that leaks that is informative for the public, they like how you say that, stamp them as fake news. Yeah. So and then they start like with this in Venezuela as they start like um yeah, we want to hear from the Netherlands what exactly happened and why is this going this way, but they know that the Netherlands um, is not going to give them any answer whatsoever because the Netherlands doesn't think that they deserve to know anything. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
things that has to do with foreign countries, with um, um, justice and all money, those three parts of the island, The island runs them, but the last word is to the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That just takes me back to the things we were talking about and
Mhm.
showing how history really has not changed that much.
Oh no, no,
Yeah,
and
it has not changed that much.
no,
It's just hidden behind modern day living.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you know, um I think it is very important for us here on islands start recognizing those things. And actually, the only way that we can recognize it is by knowing exactly what happened back in the days. And here in Curacao, a lot of times when you are like start talking about history, the only thing that people will say, you're starting again about slavery. Come on, people, let's grow out of this. But we cannot grow out of nothing
Mm-hmm.
if we don't know what we have to grow out of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I definitely agree with you with that. And I'm not from Curacao, but after going through the history of Curacao, knowing that some of my ancestry may came through Curacao,
Yeah,
it's interesting how what I have learned is showing up today. And I only know that because I learned what history was.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm. And so
Yes,
when you take that power of knowledge, you
hmm
can apply it to start making change because you know
exactly,
what's going to happen. You know what's coming,
exactly.
and you're hiding if and you're actually pulling the wool down by not learning your history and just
Mhm.
keep repeating and repeating and repeating, staying stuck in that mentality, in that
Exactly.
slavery energy, and things like that.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people, I had a conversation with a pretty young man in his 30s, and he told me that we have to stop with the slavery thing, and we have to start making money for ourselves. And I was like, good. I think your thinking is perfect, but how are you going to start making money if money is not what Curacao is handling? And he was like, Curacao is handling money. And I was like, no, Curacao is not handling money. Money is handled by the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And I told
Mm-hmm.
him, let's just take four of the biggest um, hotels in Curacao. And I said, Corendon, who's running that? And he looked at me and he said, the Dutch. Okay. Okay. Dreams, who's running that? The Dutch. And I was about to say, mention the fourth. And he was like, yes, but still, I'm like, no, still nothing. All the money, I mean, we are working hard. I work in tourism sector. We are working hard to make sure that Curacao is on a level of service, level of information, level of beauty, level of everything. Yeah. But all the money that we as the people here are making for the industry, except our salaries, nothing else is staying on island.
Mm. Mm.
And I was like, and tell me now, I want you to really think about it and tell me what money is Curacao managing.
Mm-hmm.
And it synced at a certain point, and he was like, yeah, okay, okay, you're right, you're right. But still, I was like, no, there's no still, because every time uh, Curaçaoan try to do something to make money, there is something to make sure that it's not possible.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
I can actually testify to what you're saying. I'm not going to name the restaurant, but I did go to a black owned restaurant there, but the
Mhm.
name was in Dutch.
Exactly.
And he said he did that for a reason. He's kind of
Mhm.
like making his money for his business, but he's hiding behind the Dutch name.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah, because he
exactly.
did tell us, because we were surprised to find out it was black owned. We met the
Yeah,
owner and he told us why he named it that way.
yeah, exactly. So, and so are a lot of things that um, appeared like we are managing here, but in reality is that we are not managing it here. And with that Venezuela thing, at a certain point, um, due to the fact that the U.S. cannot really be on the on Venezuela ground, they are staying out and they are seizing all the um, ships, all the tankers that comes out.
Mm.
They don't have nowhere to put the oil. So what do? They call the Netherlands. Hey, Curacao has like tanks and tanks and tanks that are standing there. We're gonna, and not asking, we're gonna use them for these oils. And
Oh,
our
wow.
prime minister, instead of like, whoa, wait a second, don't you think, due to the fact that this belongs to the government of Curacao, we should ask first? No, he goes there, stand there, and his very neat clothing, and smiles when the tankers comes in and put the oil there.
Oh, wow. So you guys are hosting the oil? Wow.
Because we have a lot of a big um area
Right.
that we can do that.
Right. Because it's where they used to refine the oil before for Venezuela.
Exactly. But
Wow.
next to where but the refinery itself, we has the area in Bullenby, and that is the where the oil is stashed always. There is where they put it away, and then if need to be sold, to be sold. What needs to be used in the refinery will be transport from Bullenby to the refinery. So we have a big area with enough space to put all the oil. So it is like it's not asking, but just telling.
Right.
And I think that as a prime minister, you are supposed to say, no, that this doesn't work this way. But
Right.
you go in your beautiful dress and you go wait for the tankers to come in and stash the oil there. I mean, you are, if internationally they um, start, how you say that, accusing and handling Trump, um, justifying with justice, and he gets punished for what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Curacao will have to carry some of that also, because we help them by holding the oil.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say
Mm-hmm.
no, you accepted it. And that those are the kind of things that they don't think about, or they are afraid to say no to the Netherlands. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah, that's like what was it? Grenada refused, or did they say no to Trump and they were over there rioting and stuff? Because I remember he was trying to go to Grenada, but oh, look at that doggy.
that's
But
my baby.
Grenada said no, and then there was this big backlash against the Trump administration in Grenada, and now they're at this level where they're telling Americans not to travel there because it's
Yes, it said
dangerous. And I'm thinking, I think all that is a lie. I think they're just telling that because they're trying to make their tourism suffer.
Yeah.
which is what would happen in Curacao, I'm assuming, if they feel like if they don't agree that they would
Mhm.
suffer in the long run. So why not just agree? But that's dragging the Curacao name into something that's not even none of your business.
Yeah, exactly. But that is the problem, because without any of that, it's suffering anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Netherlands, mind you, the Netherlands are telling the Dutch to be careful if they are going to travel to Curacao.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. And they're not telling us that here. They're
No,
not
no, they're not. But they are still the Dutch itself that
right.
started
Because
the
they know
extra.
what's going on.
Exactly.
They know what's going on. And like you said, they're not telling anyone. And
Mhm.
so everyone else is vulnerable to whatever might happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, those are the things that are like happening at this point. It is a bit uncertain for some certain things, but I follow news in the US, so I can have like some conclusion for myself
Right.
on what will happen here,
Right.
because otherwise, no.
Mhm.
Because the people, the ministers here, they don't know nothing about nothing.
Wow. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
it is.
That is you think they're gonna open those refineries back up?
Probably because there was a conversation with one of the big guys in oil in the US, and he was like, there is a refinery in Curacao laying there. So we probably will be able to use that, because
Mm.
they do know that Curacao was looking for people to, our organizations, to reopen the refinery. And we had a lot of people coming here looking at it, and they were like, one, the system is very old. Two, the tanks are pretty damaged. So there is a lot of money that has to be put in order to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And these people, this guy apparently, like a bulb got on his hat, and he was like, but Curacao has a refinery. So probably he will be coming over to Curacao again in silence, to look
Wow.
and to see if he is going to do something about it.
Wow, that is crazy.
It is
So,
crazy.
so when I was supposed to come to Curacao, we decided, and this was back in November, we
Hmm.
decided to go to St. Croix,
Hmm.
U.S. Virgin Islands. So while we were in St. Croix, the military presence kind of increased over there also. You know, they got a refinery over there too, I did not know
Yeah.
about. So the military presence started to increase, and the people over there were happy. And I
Hmm.
was like, what is going on? But
Yeah.
it comes to find out they were over there so they could make their way to Venezuela too. And now they're talking about opening the refinery back up over there too. But I'm not gonna get into St. Croix because I didn't interview people over there, but I did
Mhm.
notice it when we decide to go there instead of coming to Curacao because of everything that was happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So now we are in a phase of just, be attentive and read everything you can, especially follow the Trump administration, what he is up to, and all that. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's where we
Wow.
at.
So can you feel the tension on the ground? And I know this could have an effect or not have an effect, but I know like the Venezuelans bring over all the fruits and vegetables on the boats.
Mhm.
Has that changed at all because of the being in the sea or anything?
No, that didn't change, thank God. Not yet,
Okay.
anyway. Um, at first, it was a bit hesitant because of the fact that Trump was like attacking boats,
Mm-hmm.
saying that it was drugs and all that,
Mm-hmm.
while a lot of those boats didn't have any drugs whatsoever.
Right.
So it was a bit tension then because the people, of course, were afraid of getting out of Venezuela and getting shot at. But then they realized the route that they were taking toward Curacao was never a problem.
Okay. Okay.
So then they just keep on coming here, and there's no problem with that, thank God. So we are
Okay.
still getting our fruits and vegetables from Venezuela. So it's okay. It's that what about that part? It's okay.
Okay.
But
Okay.
one thing though that we have heard too much people from Venezuela. They don't have like where to really be, and they are um yeah, being the big criminals now on the island of Curacao. So
Mm.
a lot of them are being caught though. Then thank God for that also, and sent back to Venezuela. Like last Saturday, they had invasion in different um, establishments, nightclubs, and so on, and they picked about 58 illegal Venezuelan people.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it was yesterday that they deported them all. So
Wow.
yeah, and those are the ones that you can find. There are a lot that are literally laying low and yeah, working at times that it's a bit difficult to find them.
Uh-huh.
So those are the things that now are like the consequences of all is happening in Venezuela actually.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, but all by
So,
all, it's pretty calm here.
okay.
Too calm.
Too calm.
Too calm. Yeah,
Everybody's
because
laying low.
that that
Nobody's
is the
fighting for their rights.
no, nobody is saying nothing. Everything is just happening, and that's it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah.
So do you think this effect is this having an also effect, do you think, on Bonaire and Aruba, or is this just like maybe a Curacao thing since you have the refinery?
um, and Aruba, there is also effects because Aruba closer to Venezuela than Curacao. The
Mm.
effect that there are a lot of people of Venezuela illegal on island.
Mm.
That, but the part of the oil thing is pure here in Curacao.
Hmm. Well, I when I first started coming to Curacao, and then I found out about the oil refinery, and I found
Mhm,
out because I noticed the pink haze in the air. And
mhm,
that's how I found out about the refinery. And I was like so happy that it was gone because it does give a pollution in the air. It does
yeah,
affect your health and everything like that. Yes, it brings in lots of money, but I was happy that you guys were moving over to tourism in a way to
mhm,
keep the culture, not Americanize the tourism, but a way to keep the culture and
mhm.
getting rid of the refinery. So it's really, it kind of breaks my heart to hear that, that could be a possibility of coming back.
Well, yeah, there is a neighborhood that is right up the smokes of the refinery.
Mm-hmm.
They are like hoping that it's not gonna happen either. So I don't know if you drove through Marchena, probably.
Probably. I drove all over the island. Down
So
roads that I had to turn around because the road ended.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Marchena is one of the um, neighborhoods that had it really bad when the refinery was open. So
Mm,
they are really hoping that that is not going to happen again. But let's see what's going to happen.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh wow. So what else updates would you like to share with me or anything?
Updates. Let's see. Um, personally, uh, um,
You got married. No, I'm just like
oh, please. Oh, my mother also always said, headache is something you get, it's not something you look for. So, no, personally, I have been studying the history more
Mhm.
um, by participating in different areas. In December, we had like a week that we took time to um, talk about and learn about the tambu.
Taboo.
Tambu, yeah. Tambu is one of the rhythms that we inherited from our ancestors, and it is the rhythm that they use in order to make sure that they can get rid of all that bothers them, that to uplift the spirituality, and it's the rhythm. Actually, it is the only rhythm that the slave owners was really afraid of,
Mm.
because they realized that this rhythm was giving the people a different kind of power,
Oh wow.
and that they, at a certain point, none of the enslaved were like afraid of the slave owners anymore. And every time as something came up, they were like singing a tambu, or playing a tambu. And actually, they made sure each and every time, again and again, to break the instruments that the enslaved were making in order to play the tambu. And that is the drum that we call the tambu also. Yeah. So we had a week that we went in depth of the history of tambu, which is a very, um, the kind of history that gives you goosebumps.
Mhm.
Yeah, that kind of history it is. And
Wow.
it is actually one of the topics that maybe someday we can talk about specific about that,
Uh-huh.
because it is like, let's see, what was it, like 400 years of history of that rhythm, and all the things that the rhythm went through, the ways that they manage anyways to keep it alive, um, to keep the instruments known, where here on islands they were using the rhythm of tambu mainly, uh, how they were like deceiving all the people, the slave owners, but also the people that worked for them, deceiving them in order to be able to play the rhythm anyways. We went to the different corners in downtown Otrobanda and Punda, where this rhythm was played, and each and every time tried to be yeah, taken away from the people, and how the people definitely really ran in order to save their instruments and save their own lives. So it was a very intense week of this rhythm. And then um, it was a very mind blowing, but also knowledge broadening about knowing all this about. I knew a lot about the rhythm already, but this that week really made it, the wow week in the
Wow.
story of Tambu. So I don't know. Sometimes if you have time, we can talk about that specific.
Okay.
Uh, and maybe I can bring some people to really play the music so you can hear it live
Yeah.
also. So yeah, I was it was amazing period actually.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
it's interesting, and I wanna give you your flowers before we make sure that you get your flowers before we end this, because I want to thank you for all the information. You are very knowledgeable, and you can feel the passion in what you do and the curiosity. You see
yeah,
the curiosity of I want to know. I want to
yeah,
know my history. I want to know my
yeah,
people. I want to know how I got here to this
yes,
day, you
yeah,
know? So I want to thank you for having that curiosity and having that spirit of embracing your past, embracing your
yeah.
ancestry, embracing the knowledge. So I do want to thank you and give you your flowers for that part and spending that time with me when I was there.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I, I, I think, and that's something that you go with tourists, and sometimes you find one person in the group that really listens, because when you are on vacation, you're on vacation, and you want actually to get where you have to be, and uh, you listen, but sometimes there are things that you don't really listen to. But there was this family, it was a Black American family, and these guys were really listening at what I was saying. At the point that when we got where we had to be, they asked me, when we go back, do we really have to take the same seats we had? I was like, no, you can take any other seats if you want to. Yes, because we want to sit right closer to you to hear better. And I start laughing. And at the end, when I dropped them back off um, at the ship, the husband told me, I think that, and he asked me if I know what a griot was. You know what a griot is, right?
Mm-mm.
A griot is actually a very important person in the communities of Mali and Ghana. And these people are the ones that, based on music and history and story, uh, just keep the ancestors alive.
Okay.
And he asked me like, oh, and they are also the person that sometimes stands between the government of the country and the people.
Uh-huh.
So this guy came to it at the end. He was like, I think you should look up your line, because I think that you belong to one of the lines of griots. And I start laughing because he's not the first person to tell me that. Um, and he was like, with your music and your ability to tell stories and your curiosity to know more about yourself and your history, makes you automatically actually a griot. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, I'm getting it confirmed again from
Yes.
somebody. So and it's not like I think it's fantastic to know that. It's just like, I feel it is my duty to know and to pass what I know over to especially the younger generations.
Uh-huh.
And that is exactly what I try to do. And that's why I named my company also Sankofa, because that is what the Sankofa bird is supposed to do. Learn from the past, know why you are here, and teach the others for a better future. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that is exactly what I am doing. And yeah, embracing everybody that is telling me that I might be in a lineage of a griot, because actually I do feel like I do the job that a griot is doing, or should do, let's say.
Well,
So
I wouldn't say you do a job that does that. I would say more it comes natural for you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
It just comes
I
natural, so it's not like a job. It's just you.
no, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
I am yeah, my mother is a person that loves to tell, yeah, tell stories about when she was younger, stories about her mother that too bad I didn't know, because I think I would have loved her immensely. But um, tell stories that makes my existence um, clear,
Uh-huh.
you know. So my mom is the kind of people that likes to tell you, for you to make your knowledge broader. So I think I inherited that telling the story thing from my mom,
Uh-huh.
and there are a lot of things that my mom doesn't know and that I tell her now, and she is like, "Oh, but that and that should have happened then and then," and I was like, "Yeah, I did," and she was like, "How didn't I get to know that?" I'm like, "Yeah, maybe you weren't interested because of your age at that point, you know? Because when you are, to be honest, when I was like 20, 30 years old, I, I read a lot about history and all that, but it wasn't something that I really will pour myself into it. And that
Mhm.
is something I do now, because back in the days, it didn't feel like important either.
Mhm.
Yeah. And nowadays, it is very important to know so you can understand what is going on right now. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, so I
And we
totally agree.
always, yeah, and we always need that person or persons that leaves that mark of information too. So,
Exactly.
there's always going to be somebody, and that somebody happens to be you in Curacao.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm embracing the fact that I can do it, because I really like to do it. I love the fact that I can educate or re educate our people on what is important in our history,
Uh-huh.
why
Uh-huh.
we are who we are, where we are at this point. So,
Uh-huh. So have you ever done like your ancestry lineages, or where does your family come from? That's something we never talked about.
well, actually, let me put it this way: we started doing that. And when I say we, I mean my brother and I, and a cousin of mine. Um, but both of all three of us got stuck somewhere with I got sick. um my brother was busy with his work. My nephew had a relationship problem, so there was a moment that none of us was able to go on with what we were doing. But yes, we started it, and I think that this year I just gonna ask him so we can keep on doing it and keep on digging on what we are doing,
Uh-huh.
where we come from. And niece of mine from my mother's side, she started to investigate about our lineage from my mother's side.
Okay.
So they
Okay.
are doing a good job over there, and we're going to finish our job over here. So then
Okay.
I would know exactly where I come from. One thing I I know is that we pull our lineage from my father's side. His father come from the Dominican Republic, and was the first generation after abolition of slavery.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and his family, um, they think it's either from um, Ghana or from um, uh, Senegal.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is one thing that we have to figure out though, which one it is. But either way, it would be just fine and fantastic to know
Yeah.
where the roots come from, you know.
Yeah.
Even yeah.
Yeah.
So
I actually did the DNA and I have a huge proportion of my ancestries come from Mali.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
who knows? Maybe we are family.
Right, right, right. I had even never really heard of Mali until I did my DNA. And then I
Uh-huh.
came to Curacao and they were talking about it. And I was like, huh? Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Maybe my family did come through here. You never know. You
Yeah.
never
And
know. But we all come from the same, right?
exactly. So I don't know if at last you made it to Museo Cas di Palimaishi.
I made it to all three.
Good,
Yep.
because I had a family from Mali that came through there once, and they have been recognizing things that are still existing in Mali in the museum.
Oh,
So
wow.
probably, yeah, like the chicken coop up front.
Uh-huh.
That was yeah, and that was one of the things that they were like, "Hey, we still have this in Mali. Our people are still having their chicken coops right there, and with exactly the same chickens still." And I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
"Okay." So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so who knows?
You're right.
Maybe, maybe.
Yeah, you
I guess
never know.
Senegal and Mali is not very far from each other.
Right.
Yes.
We're cousins. We're just gonna say we
We are.
cousins.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, it's been great catching up with you. I'm excited for you. I wish you nothing but luck in your business, sharing
Thank
this information, empowering people with your knowledge, really,
Yes.
because I've had the best Black history outside of going to South Africa. So I went to South Africa and I got some history, but I got it from a different perspective, right?
Yes.
So when
Mm-hmm.
I came to Curacao and I actually linked up with you is when I really got the nuts and the bulk of what history really happened in history. You know,
Yes.
I would have never guessed how many people came through the Caribbean and Curacao being such a powerful place of where things happened
Yes.
and then dispersing throughout North America. I would have
Yeah,
never
exactly.
guessed that without coming to Curacao and finding out for myself.
Yeah, exactly. And that is one thing that every time when I tell during my tours that Curacao, and especially when I do the downtown tours, and I explain exactly where everything happened, where the ships were docked, where the people were put off on land, where they were sold, because all those areas still exist, you
Yeah.
know, and then the people are like looking around and really saying like, um, don't you think it is a bit like crazy or scary that you are walking through the streets? And I'm like, look, if you are um let's say your tentacles are on bright, you sometimes can feel the vibration still.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can
Yes.
still feel the vibration. That is one thing that I have very, very strong, that I get
Mm-hmm.
to places and I'm like, okay, something happened here. And
Mm-hmm.
then I go back either to the archives, or I call Jean and I'm like, do you know if something happened then and there and there? And she will be like, yeah, I think so, but I have to look it up. And then she called me back and tell me, yeah, that and that happened. And I was like, yes, I didn't feel it wrong, you know.
Right.
So there are a lot of areas in downtown Curacao that when I walk through the streets, I really feel the vibrations still.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yep. I could
Just
feel it when I was there, and I was telling people how, like, it has this high energy that kind of
yes,
just pulls you in. Probably if you're meant to be there, right? If you're meant to
yes,
be there, it's going to pull you in. And it just felt like when I was there, I felt more like myself than I
mm-hmm,
do in the United States. And it's really weird because I feel like that's more of my home, even though I don't live
mm-hmm,
there.
mm-hmm,
Which tells me again, maybe I do have ancestry that came through Curacao.
yeah,
Because it's something about Curacao that just makes me so comfortable.
yeah. Because there weren't much ships that went directly from Africa to the United States. Most
Right.
of them came through Curacao and then go.
Yep.
So yeah, it is a different feeling actually
Hmm.
if you actually permit yourself to feel. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
that is something that I don't have to give myself the permission. I just
Right. It just
I,
happens.
it just happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yes. So
All right, Chris. Again, thank you
it's a
so
pleasure.
much. So much. I'm excited about these episodes that are coming out. I'm excited
Me
about
too.
what it may bring for you. And
Yeah.
if you make sure you share them too with anybody.
Yes.
Share
Yeah.
them out, and also to the young people, because they'll be able to hear you talking to me about it.
Yeah.
And they may pick up a little bit more information or get a little bit more curious or something like that. So use these videos for whatever you need them for. And we gonna make the money, not Curacao, not the Netherlands, not the Dutch.
Exactly. Yeah. I am actually planning on visiting the Coney Island in this summer
Okay. Okay.
because in New York, because there is where they celebrate yeah, our ancestors that crossed the Atlantic Ocean
Oh, wow.
in uh, every year. Did you know that?
No.
No, they have let me think. It's July 10th, I guess.
Uh-huh.
July no, June 10th.
Oh,
June 10th.
Juneteenth. Okay.
Yeah. And they come together um honoring they call it honoring the ancestor of the Middle Passage.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I never heard that, and I live here.
Yeah, exactly. I have a friend that lives in Los Angeles, and she was like, "Really? I didn't know that." And I live here, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So
Yeah.
from Curacao to the U.S. in the US, it is a big thing. And
Okay.
I was trying to go last year, but I got sick. So I'm trying to go this year to see if I can make it to there. When I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna send you a link
Okay.
um, where you can follow these people
Okay.
um, to know more about that. Maybe someday you can go and interview one of them.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe, after I get the information, if I'm available, maybe I'll meet you there.
Yeah, who knows? I will,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Maybe that is one thing that we can do. But I will look it up for you
Okay.
and I will send it to you.
All right. Thank you
Yes,
so much for your time,
it's
Chris.
a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, you know.
Yes.
Happen.
Until we meet again, keep
Till
telling
we meet
those
again.
stories.
Yes. Oh, one thing, maybe when you come, we can do the part of the tambu. Then you will live it. If you bring a
Yes.
group, if you bring
Yes.
a group, it will be super.
Wow. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna start asking around and see if there's people who want to come.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them it's very interesting.
Oh
It's
yeah.
uh it's a stretch of the history of the US. So bring
Right.
them in.
Yep.
Talk then with Sherilyn. Maybe we're gonna put something together.
Okay.
It's not like we are going to put something together.
Right, right.
Promise you that much.
Yes,
So
yes.
make sure you have a group, bring the group, and we will have fun.
Yes,
I
we
promise
will.
you that much.
All right.
Yes?
All right. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so
Well,
much.
it's a pleasure, Tammy. It's a
Yes,
pleasure.
it is. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.